I know it's not April. I know it's not April, but I have to talk about this, and you'll see why. So April Fool's is a funny little holiday where essentially you are allowed to lie on that day. And the lies that I've told on April Fool's are a little bit funny, or at least I like to think they're funny. So let's talk about the pranks I've done before on April Fool's. In high school, me and my friend, we were kind of really close friends with each other. And it was to the point where other people have been shipping us. Like, this is within our own friend group and we were aware of it. So for April Fools, we've essentially agreed that we confess to each other and then we are in a relationship with one another. It was so funny. We put it up as like in our statuses being like, guess who got into a relationship? Whoa, I'm in a relationship now? The thing is, we did manage to get a few people in. It wasn't until, I believe it was Male, who was like, I hate April Fools after seeing our statuses. And it was just, she has realized the joke. But it doesn't even end there because there's a guy, Eustace? Yeah, I'll use Eustace in this one, where I don't know how, he didn't connect the dots together. He saw in my status that I was in a relationship. He saw in our other friend's status that they were in a relationship. He didn't think that both of us were dating each other and instead thought that we had our own separate partners. And then we tried to hint at him being like, there's no one else in the picture. It's just us. We're like, come on, man. Look at point A, look at point B. What does that equal? There should be a point C that everyone else got that for some reason you're not getting. But then Eustace, he was like, oh my God, it's April Fools. And I was just like, yes. But also the joke was that me and the other friend, our mutual friend, we were in a relationship with each other, but he didn't connect the dots. He just told us, yeah, no, for some reason it didn't connect in my head that you two would actually date each other. I was like, wow, that was very surprising, considering how everyone else kind of shipped us, and he was like the one person who I guess didn't. So yes, prank number 1. I've lied about my relationship status before. Prank number 2. So this is before I had my driver's license. My friends knew I was on my second permit. Why was I on my second permit? That is for a different video, which I do have planned. But essentially, I was on my second permit. I was gearing up to go take the driver's test again, except this would be my first time actually taking the test. It was really funny. I wanted to actually see if I could schedule my test on April Fool's, which I couldn't. Yeah, I think April Fool's was just a very popular day for people to just pick for like a driving test day. I don't know. But I did take the test like a week before April Fool's, and I failed. Right at the last moment, I hit the curb. I made a major mistake, and so I didn't pass that test. However, my friends didn't know this. They also didn't know I took the driving test because how close the days were together. And I decided to wait until April Fool's where I was like, guys, I passed my driving test. At first, I got a bunch of congratulations until I think it was Male again who was like, are you serious or are you joking? This better not be an April Fool's joke. Ah, you got me. It is an April Fool's joke. I failed last week. You failed last week? Yeah. So yeah, prank number 2. I lied about getting my license. Now let's talk about lie number 3, which is the most recent one. I did this lie this year. As you guys know, I was unemployed before. Because of this, I decided for April Fool's this year, I would say, guys, I got the job. I've been applying to a lot of jobs here and there, odd ones, anything at this point. And I decided to lie and say, oh my God, I got the bookstore job. My friends, they are all saying congratulations, and yet nobody had picked up on what day it was. And so I actually sent them a funny little drawing exposing myself, saying, Happy April Fools, and it's a drawing of me in a cage, clown makeup on and a wig, and wearing a sign that says, I'm sorry. And essentially, I was like, I'm sorry, guys, I didn't know you would believe my lie so well. Boo-hoo, I am the true fool. Yeah, a lot of my friends weren't happy with that, but at the same time, I was like, guys, if you look at the past pranks I've done so far, it's not too far from what I've done. Like, I've lied about my relationship status, I've lied about my driver's license status, and now I'm just lying about my job status. It was so funny because Caleb had actually said, when I get you, Selty, when I get you. It was a good con, but when I get you, I felt so bad because everyone was genuinely wanting me to have like a job, and I was like, I'm so sorry to pull down on your parade. Yeah, funny enough, literally the next day after April Fools, I got a phone call, and then I was employed. And then I was like, oh my. I think I really am the fool. To think I would get the job after I had made a joke about getting the job. I have never felt so much like a clown before in my life. It really felt like life was out there to get me. So yeah, that was pretty funny. How did I end up telling my friends that I got a job after making a joke of getting a job and then telling them that I didn't? Yeah, it was a process. I wanted to wait until I was done with the entire process, like the onboarding process, just to make sure that I actually got the job and that I was actually going to be working. The thing is, I wouldn't be able to actually start working until May, and it was the beginning of April. Yeah, I had time to kill. I wanted to wait until it was a little bit closer to the actual day of, so that I could tell them being like, yeah, I do have a job now, and my first day is coming up really soon. The thing is, throughout the entire month, I asked them some hypotheticals because it kind of just was brought up in a way. And through my questions, I found out that it was gonna be hard for them to actually believe I have a job because the trust was already broken once. Yeah, so in the end, I kind of just set up a hangout day for all of us to gather as much of my friends as I could to just tell them all at once, being like, yes, I got the job. Yes, this is for real. And this is my evidence and proof. Caleb was a little bit upset that I fooled him twice at this point. I kind of threw everyone off because I had some fortune cookies and some other stuff telling me that my love life is actually going to take off somewhere. So some people were expecting my announcement to be love related. It was not, it was job related. But they believed me once I showed them my contract. It was a fun day overall, in my opinion. So yeah, now I'm employed. TLDR, I lied about being employed back in April, on April Fools, only to be actually employed the next day. However, I would only start working in May. I waited until the end of April to actually tell my friends that I got a job. And honestly, it was kind of hard to make them believe me that I have a job now. It was hard for me to keep these secrets from my friends. Like, I wanted to tell them that I got the job. And I also wanted to tell them about all these worries that were like bubbling up inside of me, being like, is this normal? Is this right? But I couldn't, because I wanted to see their live reactions in person when we hung out for like this day, because it was hard to get all of us free on the same day. I wanted to tell them so badly. I had moments of weaknesses that I was just like, what if I just told them? Forget the presentation. What if I just told them right then and here, right now? But I didn't. I had to strengthen my resolve and be like, no, I have to wait in person. I have to do it. It's a good build up. The thing is, there were like times where I almost fessed up or just let it slip by accident. It was really hard for me. I had to catch myself before I accidentally let something out that revealed that I had a job. My friends too, they were so nice, because even though I lied to them about not getting the job and then keeping the secret from them, just saying that, yeah, I'm still jobless, when in reality I had a job, they were sending me job postings and listings being like, oh, look, this place is hiring. Oh, look, this place is hiring. You should apply to this place. They were so nice. And I had to lie to them and be like, yeah, I'll go apply tonight. Yeah, I'll go look at it. When I didn't, I did look at some of them because the job that accepted me is kind of located far away from my house, which is not ideal for commute, but I have to start somewhere, you know? And so I am still looking for a job, but this time preferably somewhere closer to my house so that I could have a less large commute time, if that makes sense. Sometimes my friends, they would make jokes being like, oh my god, you are the jobless one in the friend group. And I would have to be like, yeah, I am. I mean, technically speaking, I was hired, but I didn't start, so I wasn't getting paid yet either, so it is what it is. The secrets were killing me on the inside. They really were. I think I said that way too many times because I think Mail got a little bit annoyed by that, being like, Selty, you put yourself in that position. And I was like, yeah, I really did. So if there's anything to take away from this story, honestly, be careful of what you make jokes of, because they might manifest into something real. Or, just look at the story, The Boy Who Cried Wolf. That's also a good one, too, actually. I'm the sea lion who cried wolf. Yeah. So, yeah, as a reminder, since I am employed now, this could affect my future schedules from now on. But, I'm just here for a good time, not a long time, so